All right, guys, day 21, and let's talk about Victor Crowley, which is another sequel in the franchise of Hatchet, and I've finally got to see all of the movies. And of course, with the ending of this, there's probably going to be another one, but as of now, Victor Crowley is the most recent one from 2017. And this is interesting because this movie is not called Hatchet 4, it's called Victor Crowley. And I was thinking to myself, this is going to be a prequel. Like before I saw the movie, I was thinking this has got to be a prequel to the other movies because they really like before I knew anything about the actual movie, I just assumed with the title Victor Crowley it was going to be a prequel or a spin-off. And it's weird because it's not a spin-off, it's a sequel to Hatchet 3, but it's not really. It's weird because this movie is pretty much the same as the other one, so I don't know why it's called Victor Crowley as opposed to Hatchet 4. Maybe just it might just be because it came out in 2017 at a time where, and still at a time where sequels to any films just don't have numbers anymore. Really, not much. There's really not many I could think of. I could think of A Quiet Place 2, which again has been delayed, but that one has a part 2 in it. But usually, these movies that have been coming out in the past couple of years, horror or regular franchises, they just don't have really numbers much anymore, because I feel like producers of these movies are afraid that like if they haven't seen the other ones, they're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to go see Hatchet 4, but I haven't seen the other three, or I'm going to go see the new Avengers, but like I haven't seen the other Avengers. If it was called Avengers 4 or something, like if Endgame was called Avengers 4. Like I noticed that they've been doing that with franchises lately, where like they're not really for the most part titled like with numbers in the title. It's weird to see that because it used to be just the norm where like you always had part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. And it's so weird to see that now that it's different. And I wonder if that's the case with this, where it's it's trying to bring in an audience without making you have to see the other movies. But I mean, you really should, honestly. Like I'm such a completionist with franchises. I'm not gonna just miss out on one. Even if a franchise is bad, I'll go through it and I'll watch them all just because I'm a completionist. Um, there's so many movies that are terrible that I've seen that are sequels, but I'm gonna watch them just to say I've complete to seen the whole franchise because I love franchises, whether they're good ones or bad ones. So weird little thing there that I was saying about it's franchises that now don't really have numbers anymore. So Victor Crowley, I guess, was called that probably just ease people into like, oh, this is a slasher. You don't really have to see the other ones. But honestly, I feel like you're missing out if you're not seeing the other ones. But yeah, Victor Crowley. I'm gonna start talking about the movie. Victor Crowley. It is a sequel to Hatchet 3, where like after Hatchet 3, you don't know if Mary Beth's dead, and you don't see her in the movie until the end. Spoilers, in credits. Which, oh, by the way, the ending credits are literally just the exact same stinger as Jeepers Creepers 3, and they both came out in 2017. That was very strange. I was sitting there like, wow, but this is way better than Jeepers Creepers 3, which I thought was really bad. But the now back to the story. I keep like going back and forth with what I'm saying. I really am bad at just I'm bad at not keeping a subject and staying with it. I'm really bad at that. But the story is it continues after Hatchet 3, and Andrew from the last movie is still alive. You don't see you don't see Mary Beth until the end of the movie, but it's implied that she's dead throughout the movie. That you don't know until the end credits. But it's just Andrew, the sole survivor, and they even say it in the movie he's a sole survivor. And then he is on a TV show of his ex. I think her name's Sabrina, and she's like on an Oprah type thing where like, and they even joke about her being discount Oprah in the movie. But he goes on Sabrina's show and he's talking about the book he made about surviving Victor Crowley, and then Andrew and his personal assistant Felissa Rose go back because they get money because like he gets offered $1 million, which he doesn't really later, but he gets offered $1 million to go back to the swamp, Honey Island swamp. And then of course, Victor Crowley returns. Of course he does. Why would he not return? Why would you go back and not expect that? but That's the basic story of this. It's weird because this movie is such a sequel to Hatchet 3, but like it kind of feels so different. Like it is a slasher like the other movies, and it feels like it's got more of an emphasis on comedy, like in a way where it's at times a little distracting, honestly. Um, I'll say this: Felissa Rose is freaking fun and awesome, and I really love her in anything. She's the best. She's so genuinely fun in this movie. Um, I think it's hilarious the way she acts in this movie. She's really fun and entertaining. And her death scene, where she gets her arm with her phone shoved through her vagina, through her body, and through her mouth like this. What a death. That was so fun and so hilarious to see that. That was genuinely just a wow moment. I really, really like that. She's really funny. There's this girl, and I don't know what her name is, and I feel so bad that I don't remember it because she's on Holliston as well. Um, but she's really funny. She's this other main character who survives at the end with Andrew. She's really hilarious. She's the one who calls the Sabrina character Discount Oprah. She's really funny. She's got a lot of great jokes. And I think that the movie, while being, I guess, way more jokier than the other three, and it's weird to say because the other three are horror comedies as well, but this is definitely more horror comedy. It's weird because some of the jokes don't land, but it overall the movie is fine, but I don't think I like it as much as two or three. I don't remember on one because I haven't seen one in a while. I did review one on this channel a long time ago, maybe a year ago, but I guess that's not that long ago. But I've reviewed them all now, but I don't remember how I feel about the first one. The first one I think is really, it was fun for what I remember, but I really liked two, and then three I liked, and then this one. I don't know where I'd rank one in these four movies because, like I said, I haven't watched it in like a year. But but this one I think, in terms of like fun, it's the goofiest one out of all of them. I think it's entertaining. I think a lot of the jokes land, but a lot of them don't. Like it's a weird mixed bag where like some of these jokes kind of go on for a while, but whenever the jokes land, they really land. And it's weird because it's called Victor Crowley, but Victor Crowley's probably in this movie for like 10 minutes tops. Like it's weird. He's really not in the movie that's called Victor Crowley that much. But I mean, there's a lot of movies that do that. Like I'm trying to think of one, like like Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Like Luke is not in the movie as much as you think, and he's the titular title character in that movie, and his arc is the important arc of the movie. But it's like that. There's a lot of movies that do that. But like I just was thinking to myself, wow, Victor Crowley is not in this movie that much. Funny enough, he's really not. But whenever he's in it, he's great. The gore is great. The humor is fun for the most part. Sometimes it's kind of whatever, but I think that there are a lot of standing moments that work enough to where I like this one, but I don't like it as much as the first, or I mean, as two or three. Like I said, one I don't remember that well, but yeah, this one I thought was a fun time, but it was just one of it was my least favorite. I'm assuming out of all of them. But really, it's still a fun time. It's still an entertaining movie with some good fun stuff in it. So that's pretty much all I could say about Victor Crowley. I thought it was an enjoyable time. Not as good as the two or three, but I think it's fun. So that's my quick review on it. I guess 9 minute review. Tell me down below what you guys think of the movie, and stay tuned for the next day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.